Hello you guys, welcome to another monthly Disney Q&A. They're starting to become a monthly thing, which I love. These are some of my favorite videos. I love getting to sit down and chat with you guys, answer your questions about our recent Disney trip, and this one was a good one. We stayed at Old Key West and Wilderness Lodge. We did some really fun dining. We had a blast, and I'm excited to chat about it. So we've got a lot of questions to get through. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, there were a few asking for highlights and lowlights of our trip. So the very first highlight that comes to mind is actually Storybook Dining. This was a character meal that we had never done before, and I really had no expectations. I had heard a lot of mixed reviews on it, and the bar was pretty low, to be honest, after our experience at Cinderella's Royal Table. And again, I just went into it with no expectations, but I was pleasantly surprised and I was blown away. I'm not even kidding. This was the best character meal that we had ever done. The food was incredible. The character interactions were some of the best. They really take their time and linger at your table, and the food presentation alone was just, I mean, it was incredible. It was amazing how they present the food to you, and the cast member who was serving our table, she really fit into the role, but yet at the same time was really personable. So I think she did a good job of finding that balance of filling the role that she was in while also connecting with us. So I really enjoyed and appreciated that, because that's something that I haven't experienced at other restaurants. So this was a lot of fun. The Evil Queen, Snow White, especially Grumpy and Dopey, Ellie loved those two characters specifically for some reason. I cannot wait to share the vlog. It was so fun. That was by far the highlight of our trip. And the low light of the trip was probably on our resort transfer day. When we were moving from Old Key West to Wilderness Lodge, and this vlog just went up, so if you haven't seen it, go check it out. But normally, and my plan originally was to call Bell Services and have them help me carry all of my luggage and all of my bags down 3 flights of stairs. Well, our minivan arrived way sooner than I was expecting. She was already on the resort property when I clicked to request a minivan. Normally it can take 10 or 15 minutes minimum for your minivan to arrive. So I thought for sure I had plenty of time to carry all of this down and get Bell Services to come over and help me. At that point, I'm like scrambling because our minivan's already here. I don't have time to call Bell Services at this point. So I'm just gonna carry it down myself. Like, I work out, I'm strong, I can do it. Well, I carried down our weekender bag, our 50-pound suitcase, and my backpack, Ellie's backpack, the stroller, all of our groceries, and a case of water. This took about 3 trips, and our minivan, for whatever reason, she parked 2 buildings down, and I thought, well, surely she'll pull the minivan around when she sees that I'm coming out of this building and not 2 buildings down that way. But she did not pull the minivan around closer. So not only did I have to carry all of this down 3 flights of stairs in 3 trips, but then I had to carry it across the parking lot 2 buildings down to get to the minivan. It just ended up being a little stressful having to carry all of that down 3 flights of stairs by myself, and it took 3 trips. And of course I have a 4-year-old who is following me up and down the stairs. I'm like tripping over her, like, move, get out of my way. And I'm like, just wait at the bottom of the stairs. Anyway, so that whole experience, you know, it puts you in this mood of like, you feel a little on edge, like a little anxious, you know, when you're trying to hurry and do things quick, and I don't know. So that whole experience, you know, it was a lot, and I couldn't really talk about it in the vlog because our minivan driver was right there. And anyway, so that was probably one of the low lights. It started our morning off a little like, whew, just take a deep breath, Becca. Like, it was that kind of morning of, I don't know, just how the minivan thing happened. It just put our morning off just a little bit. And normally it's this super relaxed experience of moving resorts, and your minivan usually pulls right up to your building and they help you with your luggage, and it's super seamless and it feels like you get the VIP treatment. But it did not feel that way on this particular experience for a few reasons. So that was the low light. I know that was a long explanation, but yeah. Highlight, Storybook Dining. Low light, carrying all my luggage down 3 flights of stairs and then having to carry all of it across 2 buildings in the parking lot. Speaking of Storybook Dining, is the menu at Artist Point good for kids? So this was one thing I was a little worried about because their menu doesn't have many kid-friendly options. And I was like, oh, I don't know how Ellie's gonna respond to this, but I did ask because they have grilled chicken on the menu. I asked, could you do fried chicken? Because I don't know if Ellie's gonna just do grilled chicken. And she said, oh, absolutely. We do chicken tenders for this very reason. We always have like a safe, what did she call it? She called it her no tears menu. So she was like, yes, we have a no tears menu. So chicken fingers, they do serve chicken fingers and you get 2 sides with it and a drink. So it's still part of the kids meal, and that pricing and all of that is the same, but it's not on the menu. So just ask. If you need chicken fingers, they can do it for you. Must-dos at Old Key West for a rest day. Apart from the pool, I would say the playgrounds, those are awesome, and they have some really fun sandy areas. And if you have some beach toys, this would be an awesome place. Even if you just pack a couple of little things, they have an awesome little sandy beach area. They have a really fun community hall. This would actually be great if it's raining and you can't use the pool or the playgrounds and you're just like, what in the world? Like, we want to do a resort day, but it's pouring down rain. Go to the community hall. They have movies playing. There's all kinds of board games and coloring activities. They have a special craft of the day set out. You can rent DVDs to take back to your room. They have hundreds of options to flip through. Lots of different activities here. They have a pool table. There's a ton going on in this community hall, and it was pretty busy the night that we went in, and they're open, I think, pretty late. I want to say until 10 o'clock. I think they're open 10 to 10. So lots going on at the community hall. You can rent Surrey bikes here, you can rent regular bikes, and then you also have the boat over to Disney Springs. So this would be a great rest day activity, is hop on that boat and go walk around Disney Springs, go grab a bite to eat, grab a drink, grab a cookie, grab, whatever, go shopping. And it's a really relaxing boat ride. I think it's around 20 minutes. So it's a little bit on the longer side, but the whole boat ride experience, I think, just makes it even more enjoyable because it's so peaceful. So those would be my top recommendations if you are looking for a non-park day activity kind of to-do list. Do the resorts have life jackets or floaties at the pools for kids? Yes, life jackets are included at all Disney resorts and they come in a variety of sizes, so you do not have to pack any of your own. Disney will provide that for you free of charge. Go you for traveling so much. Hope the Disney burnout has faded. Yes, it definitely has. And I think I have learned how to pace myself a little bit better with content and creating content while I'm at Disney and how to film. I think in the past, I made the mistake of just trying to do too much. Like, how many videos can I get out of this one trip? And instead of having that mindset and coming home totally burnt out and exhausted, I really try to pace myself, and I'm really intentional about the content that I do get now, rather than trying to just pack in as many videos as I possibly can. For instance, I no longer vlog on our last day anymore. So on our travel day home, I'm not vlogging for a couple of reasons. One, those videos never really performed super great. Not a lot of people seem to be interested in our travel day home, and not vlogging on our last day kind of allows me to take a little bit of a breather at the same time. At that point, I have filmed 1 to 2 videos a day for the length of our trip. And by day 5, I'm pretty done. Like, I need a break from being on camera and filming all day, every day. So not filming on our last day gives me that break that I need, and I'm able to enjoy being at Disney that last morning without the pressure of having to have my camera out. So that's helped a lot, being more intentional with the kind of content that I'm getting and pacing myself a little bit better with filming at Disney. How was the food at Space 220? What did you order? I've heard mixed reviews. I had heard mixed reviews too. So this was another restaurant that I was like, oh, I really want to give it a try. We've never done it before. I've heard good things. I've heard bad things. Again, I had no idea what to expect, but we had a really great experience and the food was really great. It wasn't the most incredible meal I had ever had on Disney property, but the food was really good. Like, it was better than just okay. It was really, really good. I had the fried cauliflower appetizer, ask for extra buffalo sauce on the side. That was incredible. That was actually incredible. I would say the fried cauliflower was better than the salmon entree that I had. The salmon was, it was fine. It was okay. It was a good salmon dish. And then Ellie got the chicken fingers, of course, which those chicken fingers are actually really good. So the food was great. We had a really awesome experience. What's one new thing you did on this trip that you would want to try to repeat in the future? Probably storybook dining. I don't know if that sounds crazy, but that is one character meal that I will absolutely do again. I don't know if we'll do it on our next trip, but it was really good. Like, that's how much I enjoyed it. We will definitely do that one again. What is your time budget for getting from the park back to resort for midday break? It really depends on what resort you're staying at and which park you are coming from. For instance, coming from Magic Kingdom to Wilderness Lodge, you have a 15-minute boat ride, and we would wait maybe 5 or 10 minutes for the boat to come. I mean, if that, normally we would walk right up and the boat would already be there, which was awesome. So maybe I would give myself 20, 25 minutes to get from Magic Kingdom back to Wilderness Lodge. But if we were at Epcot, for instance, there was one day we were heading back to Wilderness Lodge and we waited on a bus for a little over 20 minutes. And then you have a 15-minute, 20-minute ride back from there. So on those days, I would give myself about 45 minutes. And that's usually the max amount of time that it's gonna take. That's really like worst case scenario, is that it takes 45 minutes. Usually I'm able to get from any park to any resort within 30 minutes, but just in case a bus is running late or whatever kind of reason that there's a delay, I would give yourself that extra 15, 20 minutes. So I would say 45 minutes is usually what I budget time-wise. How did Ellie do in the airport without the stroller? I know this was probably a big step for y'all. Ellie actually did great. She had her own little backpack. It was so stinking cute. She does really great at staying with me. I made sure, hey, you are either holding on to the suitcase handle or you're holding on to mommy's hand. Like, those are your two options. So she wasn't ever like running off or, you know, now if there was no one around, like that felt different, but she did great. And it did make getting on and off the plane a little bit easier. I did miss my compact stroller. And I think there were a couple questions about the stroller, so I'll answer that here in a minute. But yeah, that'll be another topic. But airport went great with no stroller. I'll leave it at that. Did you enjoy renting a stroller this time, and what kind of stroller did you rent? Okay, so I rented a City Mini GT2. Ellie has outgrown our Contours Bitsy Elite beloved compact travel stroller. I'm like, no, but the max weight is 40 pounds on that stroller and I just couldn't push it anymore. She's a couple pounds over and I was like, I can't do it anymore. She was over the weight on our last trip and I made it work, but moving forward, I think it's just too tight of a squeeze for her. So we decided to rent a stroller. I didn't know what else I wanted to do, and you know, I didn't have enough time to make a decision and purchase something different, and I wanted to be able to try the City Mini GT, so I went ahead and just rented a stroller. I was like, this is gonna be the easiest thing for this trip, and then I can make decisions later on and decide if we want to buy the City Mini or something different, or kind of the route we wanted to go moving forward. So the whole rental process was great. We used Orlando Stroller Rentals and they were really gracious to gift us this rental on this trip. So that was awesome. But sadly, I was not a fan of the City Mini GT2. I felt like it was very bulky. It was really difficult to maneuver. Ellie had a hard time getting in and out of it for some reason. She just wasn't a fan either. And it was really heavy. So whenever I would collapse it, which the collapse was super easy, that part was great, but getting on and off the buses with this really heavy stroller, it was not compact. I had to sit it in front of me and like always had to have my hand on it because it would just topple over. And then getting off the bus, you have to pull the latch on the side to unlock it, to pop it up. And I have so many bruises on my shins from trying to pop up this dang stroller. I never figured it out. Like, I probably looked like the mom that had never used a stroller before because I was just fumbling around with this thing. Like, I was getting so frustrated with it and it just was so large and so bulky, and I didn't like how difficult it was to maneuver through gift shops and through the crowds. And anyway, so that is why I wasn't a fan of the City Mini GT. So that we will not be purchasing that one. And I probably won't be renting a stroller again either, which is really sad because I did enjoy not having a stroller in the airport, and that whole process of getting on and off the plane, just being a little more hands-free was really nice. The ease of having your stroller delivered and picked up from your resort was awesome. I mean, that whole side of it I loved, but I have yet to find a stroller rental company that rents out compact travel strollers. So for that reason, I do think I'm going to be purchasing a new compact travel stroller that does have a higher weight limit that I can have for Ellie, that's going to be a little more comfortable for her. It's going to be easier for me to maneuver, and as often as we go to Disney, I need to love my stroller. Like, I want to love it. So that's the deal on the stroller rental. Now, if we were a family who went to Disney once a year, once every other year, I would absolutely suck it up and use the City Mini and just rent it. That would be no big deal. But again, because we go so often, I've got to have a stroller that I love. Was the spring break rush over? Yes, I would say by the weekend after Easter, the crowds really start to die down. So we were there the Thursday after Easter and stayed through Tuesday. We stayed till Tuesday. So come Saturday, that was a noticeable difference in the crowds, and I personally saw dozens of families leaving and getting all of their luggage loaded into vehicles and getting onto shuttles and buses. I mean, there were a lot of families Saturday morning leaving. So that was really nice because we were checking into Wilderness Lodge on that day, and I was seeing just cars, like just dozens of cars pulling out and getting loaded up and exiting the resort. And it was kind of nice. I was like, oh, all right. Like, all the crowds are dying down. Everyone's going home. It's the end of that week after Easter spring break rush. So week after Easter, I would say, is a really safe time to go. Not a Disney World question, but would you ever try a Disney cruise? I get asked very often if we are gonna do a cruise, and my answer is usually like, oh, I don't know, we'll see, never say never. But to be honest, at this point, I really don't see myself going on a cruise. Like, just being totally honest. For me personally, I think the idea of going on a cruise just does not sound appealing for a lot of reasons. And I know there are a lot of Disney cruise people right now, like, you are falling out of your chair. Like, what? No, you have no idea. Like, Disney cruises are the best. And, you know, I hear all the incredible things about the Disney cruises. But for me personally, I don't think I see myself going on a Disney cruise. And there are just so many other places and vacation spots and things that we enjoy as a family. So that is my very honest answer to will we ever do a Disney cruise? Probably not. Which hotel has the best splash pad for toddlers and playground? All right, there are a lot of resorts that have some really great splash pads. My favorites are Caribbean Beach, Wilderness Lodge, Grand Floridian. I know Polynesian is going to be thrown into that mix by someone in the comments, but here's my argument for the Polynesian splash pad. It's so large. I think it's best for bigger kids, like preschool age and up. I think little toddlers, it's gonna be a little trickier to keep eyes on them because there are so many little bridges and staircases and corners and, you know, and it's all kind of covered up. So it's a little more challenging to keep track of your little one at the Polynesian splash pad, but it is really great if you have older toddlers or preschoolers. I think that's a really good one. And Port Orleans also has a really great splash pad. Can you easily get to Fort Wilderness to do a campfire with Chip and Dale from Wilderness Lodge? Yes, there is actually a separate boat that has direct access from Fort Wilderness to Wilderness Lodge. That boat doesn't start running until 3 p.m. So if you plan on visiting in the morning, you'll have to find another way to get there. But for the campfire, that wouldn't be an issue at all. You can have that boat ride over to Fort Wilderness, which is great. The next question from the same person, best spot to watch Magic Kingdom fireworks at Wilderness Lodge. You're gonna head down to Geyser Point down by the water and you'll be able to see the fireworks over Bay Lake Tower. It's not gonna be the best, most incredible view. It is a little obstructed, but you can see them down by the water by Geyser Point. Does Ellie sleep with you in a pack and play with bed rails, etc.? So Ellie actually sleeps in her own bed. So whatever the other bed option is, whether it's another queen bed, maybe it's the pull down Murphy bed, if we have the 5th sleeper pull down option, that's what she's gonna pick. So really, whatever is the other bed option in the room, that's where she's sleeping. And she does great. I don't have to worry about her rolling out of the bed here at home, and her bed is, I would say, like decently off the ground. I mean, it's not like low to the ground, but it's not super high either. But she's never had an issue with rolling out of bed. So I don't really mess with bed rails. I mean, they're free at Disney, so you could absolutely call and have them sent to your room, but we've never had to use them. And normally I'll just kind of stack pillows and create this little barrier around her. But she does great, and it did take a little bit of adjusting for her, but I think because we travel so often, she has gotten in the groove and she knows how to fall asleep in really any kind of bed now. Whatever the setup is, she's good to go. Would you choose club level over a villa and dining plan for future trips? I think I would choose club level. You can come and go as you want. You can eat as much or as little as you want, and you're not locked into reservations. You're not having to research like, where can we get the best value at a quick service location? And you know, I think it just simplifies. So I would choose club level. And it's, you know, it's nice. Do you still do nap breaks or rest time? Is she getting old enough to keep going now? We 100% still do naps back in the room. Some days she does not fall asleep, but we have started calling it quiet time. And this really helps Ellie still have that reset middle of the day that she needs, because she is 4 years old. So we've transitioned out of needing a nap every day to maybe sometimes she'll nap, but it's just becoming less and less frequent now. So I still offer quiet time middle of the day. So we are back in the room, and I've definitely pushed our time back. It used to be like 12 o'clock on the dot we would leave when Ellie was like 2.5, 3 years old. Now that she's 4, we're pushing that time back to like between 1 and 2 o'clock we'll leave. So I have found that if we stay in the park really past 2 o'clock, that's when Ellie starts to die down. So you really have to kind of gauge what's going to be best for your child and when that time is. So I've learned that 2 o'clock is kind of our cutoff time. And then we're back in the room by 2:30. She'll fall asleep maybe from 2:30 to 3:30 or 3 to 4. And then we're back up and ready to go for the day. And then on days where she doesn't fall asleep, then she just lays there and she can flip through a book, or she can color on her coloring tablet, or, you know, something like that where the lights are still dim. We've got the sound machine going. She has the opportunity to fall asleep if she wants, but if she doesn't, that's fine too. But the rule is no talking, and you have to stay in your bed and be quiet. So we'll do that for at least an hour. And then if she doesn't fall asleep, then we'll get up and keep moving. So we definitely still need that midday break though. Even if she doesn't fall asleep, I can still tell that that reset really helps our day. I mean, it really turns it around. If she's kind of at the end of her rope, I mean, it's like a new Ellie after we have that midday break. Do Ellie's princess dresses get in the way of her doing activities or playing? I actually change Ellie out of her princess dress after 2 or 3 hours. I'll change her. So she is not staying in her princess dress, especially if it's not like playtime friendly. If it's more for pictures or to meet princesses or something, then she'll just stay in that for a few hours or a couple of hours, and then we'll change into play clothes. So that way I'm not having her play in a playground in this like big fluffy princess dress, you know what I mean? So I'll either bring something for her to change into, or we'll do a late morning, do some kind of breakfast or meet characters or something, and then go back to the room and change. So that's typically what we do. How did it go with more sit-down restaurants? Did Ellie enjoy or get antsy? I think the fact that the restaurants that we did were so immersive, I think that really helped with her not getting bored or antsy, because, you know, anything character-based, that is super entertaining and very interactive, of course. And she enjoyed Space 220, I think more than I anticipated she would. She really enjoyed seeing the little space shuttles floating by, and they have astronaut families like floating off in outer space, and she really got excited by that. So I think doing dining experiences that felt a little more immersive and had more things for her to look at or stay engaged with, I think that made it all the more fun for her. So she did great, and we really enjoyed adding in a couple more dining reservations this trip than we normally do. What are some new things that Ellie can do now at Disney that you're excited about? So she is actually tall enough for a lot of rides. She has been tall enough for Mine Train for a little while. She's tall enough for Big Thunder. She's actually almost tall enough for Space Mountain. I think we're like half an inch away from her being tall enough for Space Mountain, which is just like mind-blowing to me. But all of those things Ellie has zero interest in. I am not even going to introduce the idea of Space Mountain to her for a very long time, because there is no way she would enjoy that ride. She has really struggled with anything that is out of her comfort zone. Slinky Dog, she is not a fan of. She's done Mine Train, she's done Big Thunder, like those rides, she is not about it. So anything that she is almost tall enough for, I'm just not even gonna try. Millennium Falcon, she's tall enough for that one. Rise of the Resistance, like I don't think she would be interested in those things. So even though she is tall enough, those are just, it's a no, it's a no. What age is the youngest you would do a character meal? Honestly, any age under 3 is gonna be great because they are not charged for a kid's meal. So that's kind of a little hack there, is if you have a toddler under 3, they can eat off of your plate and you're not gonna be charged for them. So honestly, any age under 3 is gonna be great. I don't think they're too young for any kind of character meal. That's kind of the biggest perk, honestly, of doing character meals when they're little. So definitely take advantage of that if they're under 3 years old. What is your favorite part about staying at Wilderness Lodge and benefits with a preschooler? My favorite part of Wilderness Lodge is that it's a little off the beaten path. And so you're not gonna have the same kind of crowds that you do over at the monorail resorts. Those are very high traffic resorts, very touristy, and lots of people who are not staying there want to visit these resorts, and rightfully so. I mean, that's what we've done many, many times. We'll pop over for lunch or go grab a drink or, you know, whatever, go just let Ellie run in the grass, and we'll take a midday break at the Grand Floridian, even though we're not staying there. So what I love about the Wilderness Lodge is that you really don't have many people who aren't staying there come over to this resort. It's really quiet, and that's one of the biggest reasons I love it. You can walk around middle of the day, first thing in the morning, really anytime, and you're not bumping shoulders with people. You feel like you can walk down this long path that connects the quick service to the boat and not see a single person in that walk sometimes, because it's just that empty. So it's really incredible. So I really love that feel of how peaceful and relaxing it is. It's not gonna be that same party kind of feel that Polynesian can have, and that tourist attraction that Grand Floridian can have, and especially Contemporary. But that's what I love about Wilderness Lodge. It just feels so relaxing. Like, you can truly take a deep breath when you get back from the parks to your resort and you're staying there. It is just the best feeling. And perks of staying there with a preschooler is definitely their splash pad. They have an awesome pool and splash pad there. It is a little bit smaller, but again, without having all of the crowds, it really doesn't feel as small as it looks. I don't know how to explain it. It's a lot of fun, and I love Geyser Point. This is another great option if you have little kids. I love the seating here because it feels a little more lounge style. So Ellie can kind of get up out of the chair and she can stand and color and walk around the table. I really enjoy that. It feels a little more casual, and they have some great kid-friendly food options here. And then of course you have all the awesome dining here. You have Whispering Canyon, you have Storybook Dining. Their quick service is really great here. You also have Territory Lounge, which I have yet to find a reason to visit because it's really small bites and cocktails. So you know, it just hasn't made sense for me to bring Ellie there yet. I absolutely would. You know, I love taking her to Nomad Lounge. So it's gonna happen one day. I'm gonna take her to Territory Lounge. But those are some of the best reasons why I love Wilderness Lodge. You truly feel like you have been transported off Disney property, yet you can still see the fireworks, and you're a 15-minute boat ride from Magic Kingdom. It's just, It's in its own category. It is, oh, I love it. When are you going back to Disney with Ashley? Very, very soon. And if you're like, who's Ashley? Ashley is one of my very best friends. She is another Disney mom YouTuber. And we did a Disney trip together with our girls last year, and it was so fun. We decided we had to make it happen again. So this is gonna be actually the next Disney trip that I have planned is with Ashley. So I am so excited. If you are not following Pixie Dusted Mom, head over to her channel and check her out. But I'm excited, so make sure you're subscribed because a lot of fun vlogs coming very soon. Me and Ashley are gonna be back at Disney World very soon. Looked so less busy than we went in March. Is April usually a better time to go? I think early March is really great because those spring break crowds haven't come yet. You get into mid to end of March. That's when those spring break crowds really pick up, and then you have Easter week that's like just insane. And then it'll start to die down the week after Easter. So I would say like middle of April is kind of that sweet spot. Do you plan to make a review on 1900 Park Fair? Yes, I do have a reservation currently for 1900 Park Fair. So again, that is coming soon, so stay tuned. All right, I'm gonna end it there. Thank you so much for all of your questions, and thank you for watching. If you have made it this far, go ahead and leave the sparkle emoji in the comments. I would love to know who sticks around to the end of the video. So you guys are the best. Make sure that you are subscribed if you are not already, and go ahead and give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you in my next one. Bye guys.